Courtney, instructor Courtney, that is. Now, if you're seeing this video, that means that Boot Camp Readathon for 2026 has now commenced. And it has been a great time. My heart is absolutely full. I appreciate all the people that have contributed, all of the co-hosts, all of the people that participated, took their time out and decided to go ahead and be part of Boot Camp Readathon. I hope that you feel a little bit more hydrated, a little bit more limber, maybe a little bit more fit, and maybe assess some of the habits that you have been doing, things you can continue or whether you need to modify. So I look forward to Boot Camp Readathon in 2027 and hope to do some other cool things. So much appreciated for your participation. Now for me, I have had a great time with Boot Camp Readathon. I put my heart and my soul into it. You know, I did the daily challenge, which was definitely a challenge, and you know, I think I did a good job. I definitely see a difference in my body, so I'm excited about that. So some of those habits I will definitely continue on into the future to make a change. Okay. As for the syllabus here, let's see where we were at. So I think where we left off from my halfway through boot camp, which I'll post that video below, we were at the shooting range, okay? And I was picking up this book, A Sky Full of Elephants, which was absolutely amazing, okay? It took me a while to get through this book because it was just so many things I needed to stop and look at, okay? So thank you to Tia for recommending it. So this book in a nutshell is about all of a sudden this catastrophic event happens where all the white people in at least the United States have decided to just walk into the ocean and basically drown themselves. Really scary and tragic, okay? So that basically leaves the minorities, black and brown people, to basically inherit the earth, right? So they, you know, they seem to be doing very well, okay? There's pockets of different groups of people and things like that doing different stuff. So you have this guy named, I had to look up the guy's name. I completely forgot. So you have this guy named Charles, right? And so he is a professor at an HBCU, and he gets a call from his daughter, Sydney, and she's mixed race. So she wants him to basically come to her to go take her somewhere, right? So this book follows their journey where they're getting to know each other because they have definitely been estranged because they didn't really know each other at all from each other. So it's about father-daughter relationships, getting to know each other, as well as getting to learn their identity outside of the constraints of the normal system that we have today, where our world is basically predicated on whiteness. So having a black identity and learning who that is outside of maybe these constraints of this white world that we have, teaching them who you should or should not be, and all the fallouts and the confusion and the relearning that has to do with that. So a lot of very interesting concepts brought about in this book. I thought some very interesting statements. It was like, not everyone checks white, but no one aspires to check black. I thought that was very interesting. And it also says, I know what it's like to have to hold back everything you feel and feel that shit anyway. Y'all, this book will just make you think about the black conscious and what you really think of yourself and the world at large if others didn't kind of dictate what that is. So very interesting, very poignant book. I thoroughly enjoyed it. For the shooting range, I also was going to work out my ankles because they've been giving me some problems and they feel a little bit better but still kind of sore, and spruce up my living space. I tried to spruce up my dining room, and I did that, and then I messed it up because I ran into some issues. So it's a work in progress. Give me a little grace on that one, okay? And then for the bivouac prompt, the book is read a comedy, cozy, erotica, and romance. So I read a romance called Writing Nerdy. I thought that this book was going to be kind of comical, you know, lighthearted. I mean, it's called Writing Nerdy, but it was so serious just right out the gate about grief and learning who you are and family trauma. So just definitely something that I didn't expect, but I still, you know, enjoyed the book. So basically you have this black woman who is this head of this motorcycle gang because her dad has going to jail, right? And so she's, you know, doing her thing. They doing some crime, doing a little bit something, you know. And then there's this white guy, his name is Edward, right? He's very insecure, has some family trauma of his own, and he basically is in a bank when it's getting robbed. So he tries to make his escape because he has some reasons for getting there and he needs some money, you know, like quick ASAP, you know. So he gets in with this gang as they're leaving, and then meets up with Dusty, that's the leader of the motorcycle gang, and asks, hey, can you protect me because I need some protection? And then they together kind of, you know, have a little romance, which I didn't see the romance. I feel like it just was forced. It just came out of nowhere. But, you know, they get together and she's thinking that maybe he's a way to help her dad get out. So it was okay. I did think that Edward came off like a wimp for most of the book, and then all of a sudden, you know, his attitude kind of changed. So that just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. But overall, it was a decent story. But like I said, it just came out real serious when that's not what I expected. Because there's like a lot of, you know, like mental health things talked about in the book. But I did like this one statement where it was said, it's better to be here with you than there with them. So very interesting story. I will say that I think this is supposed to be part of a series, but this book is a standalone by itself and a complete story. So you can read it and enjoy it and not have to worry about, you know, missing something. So that was for Bivouac for the book. Treat yourself. I actually held off on treating myself because I wanted some ice cream and I did not want to overdo it for a boot camp since I was doing the 2-week daily challenge. So I have some ice cream I'm gonna do right after boot camp ends. So we'll hold off on that one. And of course, alcohol, not doing that for the entire month of January, so not a big deal. And then update Storygraph and Goodreads for graduation. I have done that. And assess the habits and all, and I'm continuing to do that. Now, one thing that I did do afterwards, because I actually completed early, a few days early, is I picked up another book. I picked up this book, which I was very much looking forward to, Lost Souls Meet Under Full Moon, and was not feeling it. I was at about page 19 and was like, I've read a lot of books in this readathon about grief. I'm just not trying to do that anymore. So that went out the window, okay? And then I decided to pick up King of Ashes by S.A. Cosby. And y'all, that was a good one, okay? I'll be doing some stuff with that, so I won't talk too much about it. But basically, King of Ashes is basically about a guy named Roman who is this big own and popping guy in Atlanta in wealth management, and he gets a call that his dad is sick. There was some tragedy that happened and he needs to get home to Virginia ASAP, right? So he gets there. He has his sister and his brother Dante, right? And you know, they have some trauma of their own because their mother disappeared, you know, 15, 19, whatever years ago, okay, and nobody knows what happens to her. So they're lamenting that their mother's gone, and everybody thinks, hey, maybe daddy did it, because daddy owns a crematory, you know, where they burn the deceased. No evidence, right? So so he's there helping out and realizes Dante, you know, is in over his head with some drug dealers, and Roman has to get involved in, you know, there's some crazy things that happen, okay? I won't say too much about the book, but it was a good time. I think Roman is, you know, he's cocky. He was cocky, and he has a friend named Khalil, which I think we all need a little Khalil in our life, okay? Come on, Khalil, where you at? But overall, I did enjoy the book, and I just finished that one. And that is my boot camp. So I have enjoyed the ride. I hope that y'all have too, and hope to do it again. So make sure you hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Pay homage to the people that support you, okay? I'm out. Get some.